which I call tempers.
Being reminded of the tempers, huh?
A night gardener. No, it makes me nervous too.
Hey there.
Yeah, to be fair, if you're Lumen, you don't expect that to be happening, do you? They have the upper hand for the first time, I'd say. Mark and the gang. Okay, dream. That beep there was like an elevator. Ooh.
Irving!
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do kind of feel like the White Walkers are gonna come out of the forest at some point. Dude, Game of Thrones is a cultural moment, man. It's burned in there. You know what I mean? How did you get here, guys?
You want me to come up? Well, yeah! I'm on the ice! I'm on the ice! Maybe get off of it!
Yeah, out in an open expanse. We got in the previously that reminder of Keir on the mountain looking over at the expanse and that fear that Irving and Bert were talking about. And now what have we got here? Nature, open space. Well done, mate, hey. Speed! What are we doing? Where is this?
Irving!
Hely!
Okay.
Where did you come from?
I'm like, did I miss an episode? I'm scared now.
What are we doing out here?
Thank you, okay.
Oh my god! Is it you?
Of course it's us!
Okay, so they've been woken up out here. Is this supposed to be a boon?
I mean, I knew there was no actual ceiling.
Hello?
I mean, they've been allowed to be on a cliff overlooking nature, yeah? Okay. Okay. Maybe it's supposed to be akin to last episode we got obviously Seth and hear his pictures and, you know, him in the place of Keir on the mountaintop. Maybe perhaps we have more of a literal giving of that to these four and, you know, giving them this mountaintop. Perhaps there's supposed to be some inkling of, you are, you know, Keir, as a reward of some kind, or to instill in them anew the teachings. Oh mate, I just hear Cobell singing. Okay, the picture. Oh god.
Good morning, refiners.
He can hold a smile, I swear to god.
Outdoor retreat and team building occurrence.
Okay,
This Ortbo.
catchy.
Desire to see the outside world.
Isn't it funny how, yeah, the Ortbo and this first excursion, and it's a cold landscape, not particularly inviting, almost, I don't know, meant to challenge them, right? This isn't, you know, it's not lush green fields, is it? The idea of the picturesque, the calm wonder that, you know, Keir had in that picture, that landscape, cold, barren, a little bit uncomfortable, you know, it's kind of that, it makes complete poetic sense that for their first excursion, official excursion out into the world, it's this, as opposed to, you know, compared with that lush countryside. For what purpose? I mean, you know, I think for the severed selves, it's, you know, Dylan said it, I mean, you know, there's gonna be an element of wonder regardless, I think, because, you know, they're outside for the second time, some of them. So there is going to be wonder and happiness and a little bit of joy probably as a result of that. At the same time, perhaps almost Lumen trying to say or show, give them the feeling of the outside is uninhabitable or the enemy or cold, literally cold, uninviting, you know, not particularly somewhere. God, Irving, what was it? And I think they said, were you out on the ice? To Mark too. Were they left out on the ice? You know, this scary place. What Irving had, the first thing that he felt, fear, probably. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I am. They haven't been briefed, I would assume. This is the first briefing they've got too. So it was wreathed in mystery before they even got here as well, which is going to unsettle you. Then yeah, like I say, Irving, they're out in the middle of a frozen lake. It starts cracking. Fear. That's so cruel. You know, it's this example of them dressing up something that should be good and supposed to be a reward of some kind. And it's so cold and cruel and horribly kind of packaged. And I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, we have Mark reintegrated. Is he acting dumb here, I wonder?
Then make up the Dieter-Egan National Forest.
They've got a forest. Goddamn, okay.
Is Dieter-Egan?
It's a good question. How do you not know?
Some of you may be quietly yearning to learn more.
Okay.
Within the fourth appendix
Is he a hidden Egan?
in his final hours of life,
Secret Egan?
that it is forbidden upon the severed floor.
Oh, it's gonna be... Is this, whatever they've cooked up with this, Dieter Egan, is this gonna be Rickon? Is this like they've written a whole new appendix and it's like a test? To test it out to see if it, I don't know, gets through to them?
For you, in Scissor Cave.
Oh, hello. Sounds like a good time.
But over here, Egan tamed the four tempers for the very first time.
Okay, we're dressing up this entire... This isn't an Egan forest, is it? I feel like they've dressed up... It's almost... It feels a little bit like Westworld. Like a role play. A story has been created, and I feel like it's all going towards manipulating them.
Happy fortunes, MDR.
It is so interesting too, because we ended last episode with, obviously, Mark being reintegrated. We're 8 minutes into this already, and we're being teased with it. Is he, you know, how's he doing? Is he playing a lot? I mean, you'd imagine so. But it is kind of, you know, playing that last episode, how it ended, for a bit of a tease cliffhanger. We don't know how he's doing. We don't know how he's taken it. We don't know what version of Mark he is, in the sense of, I mean, you know, obviously he's a combination of two. What does that look like? I feel like starting with this very mysterious kind of, you know, we start and it's this cold expanse. Irving's out in the middle of a lake. Very confusing, very unsettling. Also for us, right? I mean, I'm talking about it starting this way for the inside severed selves. It starts that way for us as the audience, considering the ending of last episode, and it kind of confuses you. You kind of come into it, and I like me now. I'm a little bit unsettled. I don't know anything, in the sense of, how's Mark doing? Do you know what I mean? What's this situation? It kind of the show, the episode, fabricates that feeling, I feel like, and use the audience, and actually really effectively it communicates that how the severed selves must be feeling, just because of the way that they played that ending last episode and have come into this one. Okay. What is that?
Looks like Mark.
Yeah, I thought so too. Cool. Alright. I do feel like we got to go over there.
There'd be help along the way.
I wouldn't trust a word out of that mountebank's mouth. Not even televisually.
Yes, mate, yeah, good. Let's keep that attitude going. Is it a robot? Mark? That's weird. Not been funny. If it's a robot, you could do a Sparta kick off that mountaintop. I'm just saying, you don't get many opportunities for that. Take them where you can get them. You know what I mean? Oh, hello. Very interesting beginning. Different, isn't it? Yeah, Keir's song playing over that title card there. As well, a very Lumen-centric episode, isn't it? Is it almost going to, I feel like the way that they played the beginning and the almost meta way that, you know, it's trying to also give you the feeling that the severed selves have. I wonder if this episode is going to try to change our minds about Lumen too. You know, that'll be interesting. I hope they do. Let's see if they can. I do think it's all going to be made up, or it's going to be Rickens' teachings packaged in a Lumen skin. They've all got one. Okay. Yeah, the music being played for horror too, and I feel like it's appropriate. They're very horror-esque. These... what? Yeah. Yeah. Whatever they are, I'd assume robots of some kind. Androids. Animatronics. But it's supposed to be this wondrous Lumen outing. And it is being played for a horror. It's an interesting mix. Because I feel like that's accurate. But I don't feel like that's necessarily what Lumen are trying to go for. Maybe it is. Maybe, like I say, maybe they're trying to unsettle them. And try to go towards saying, look, the outside is uninviting. It's scary. You don't want to go out there again, you know. So maybe that is what they're going for. It's almost like a pilgrimage too, this, isn't it? For the religion that is Lumen. Yeah, Dieter.
The lodgings of my mother's womb I shared with another.
Twin.
Another who was called Dieter.
Ah. Oh, Keir.
Keir had a twin.
Right? Well, I mean...
That's what those things are.
Twins of ours.
He beseeched me to take to the wood with him to live as paupers.
Paupers. I mean, interesting that we get that story in there, that they were supposedly paupers. Because what's Rickens' whole shtick? It's down with capitalism, community, or, you know, kind of the the poor and the downtrodden should stick together. So interesting that immediately we've got that little seed planted of like, yeah, we went into the woods to be paupers. It sets up a story that, yeah, brings us closer and closer to Rickens' teaching. I do think that that's what they've done here. And it would be very interesting if they made, I mean, Dieter feels like a bit of a stand-in for Ricken, right? And obviously the severed selves think what they think of Ricken, see Ricken as they do. I feel like Dieter being a stand-in for Ricken is so appropriate because it kind of does raise Dieter almost on a level with Keir. It's almost a spiritual kind of taking what they feel and think for Ricken, putting it into Dieter, and then arraying Dieter as next to Keir, and then both, do you know what I mean? And it brings the feeling and the fervour that they feel for Ricken back home to Lumen. If they can do that, if they can, do you know what I mean? I don't know how they would, we'll see. I might be wrong. That might not be what they're doing at all.
Dieter became an instrument of nature.
An instrument of nature. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think, you know, we had the Four Tempers. We're reminded of the Four Tempers. What are the Four Tempers? They are things to be tamed within us. Dieter being conflated with the idea of nature. What is nature? It's outside of us. You know, if they can not only instill this idea of internal manipulation in the tempers that they have already, and combine that with some kind of external force that also plays to the tune of Lumen. God.
He spilt his lineage upon the soil.
What? Yeah, again, still haven't been given one-on-one time with Mark yet. The show's still teasing that. Yikes. Almost like hands. What? What are you noticing? Or are you seeing that there's something between them and there's a little bit of sadness there for the loss of Bert? Still fresh after all.
I don't trust her. Lying about what her Hely saw.
Ah, okay. I mean, not wrong.
Night gardeners?
Yeah. A hippo? What am I looking at? Yeah.
What is it?
Hippo. Best guess, mate.
Like a seal?
Close. Fair enough.
We should eat it.
What?
We all know you had a bad experience last time you were outside.
Who said I had a bad experience?
Okay.
What did you tell him, Doc?
It was very easy to tell, Irving, mate. You didn't have a good time. Ah, there are fins. Yeah, it's not a hippo. Damn it, fair enough. But again, I feel like something that's meant to unsettle them along this journey. It gives the impression or the sense of trying to, you know, fear, right? Trying to break them down. For what reason? That's the question. Well, probably it seems to me like the idea of building them back up the way Lumen want. Or to insinuate Dieter and whatever they want to do with that stuff into them in a way that is effective, maybe.
Keir's twin was always with him.
Alright, mate. In white, okay. Black and white.
This is the tallest waterfall.
You looking good though, mate, Seth, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, interesting, isn't it, the use of colour? Them in black, him in white. Pure. Almost this angel above. I feel like with the colour scheme, trying to array Seth as a guiding hand. This almost peaceful angel coming to guide them, you know, help them.
And reached Woe's Hollow.
Woe's Hollow. Why? What happened? Something bad there, huh? Where's Dieter now? Dieter.
Starving, Mr. Milchek.
I thought the waterfall's grandeur would satiate you.
Okay.
I'm teasing, of course.
Fun.
Lumen will always protect and provide.
There you go. Lumen will always protect and provide, will they? Putting them into this very unsettling, bleak situation, locale, and, you know, fabricating that. Only for them to have Lumen come and swoop in and be the saviour. Makes sense in that light that Seth's in white as well, right? Almost this idea of starving them to swoop in at the last minute and go, here's some food. It's making them appreciate that hand that is feeding them, literally. Give this illusion that Lumen are there to care for them. More white. Who is this?
Miss Wong has been readying
Of course it is. Sorry.
which we brought in copious luxury meats,
They're cool tents. I gotta hand it to you, man. To be fair.
which can provide both a heat and a light source.
Look at all the gifts we're giving you.
It's beautiful.
Handing him fire. Almost likening Mark and the gang to Neanderthals. The way he reacts to it. Wow, it's beautiful. You know, kind of taken by the fire. Not wholly inaccurate in the sense of, you know, how simple they are Or supposed to be. Almost newborn babes, right? Severed selves.
Made you a snow seal.
It's very cute. Oh, hey, that's very good,
In
mate.
case you were hungry.
I feel silly for suggesting we eat that animal.
We were all a little.
Unsettled. Yeah, rightfully so. But it's been made that way.
What did you really see during the overtime contingency?
Yeah. This is the time, Hely. Come on. We're all friends here, mate.
I told you.
It's okay. It won't change anything.
Nice, mate. Good. I believe him too, even if you did tell him. It might be a bit of a shock, but...
Irving.
I mean, he didn't want to say. He's the one person that understands if you don't tell... Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that was beautiful. Sorry, that look that she just did. That's what made me go, ooh, because it was almost fierce. But then it kind of bled into almost the verge, the edge of tears. That was so beautiful, that transition on her face there. I'm just going to show it again because it was awesome. Hey, look at this. Irving, he doesn't waver. She kind of goes to from vulnerable, look at that, vulnerable to kind of steely to, she kind of like, do you know what I mean? To kind of like yes, tears almost, like to that place reminded of who she is and how that makes her feel. She doesn't feel good about it. Yeah. But like I say, Irving, the one person that would, I feel like, you know, he was talking to Mark and there was that distrust there, I think. He knows there's something up. She knows he knows. And now I think, I don't know that it's necessarily going to be distrust from him. He would understand, considering that he didn't want to tell him. If she doesn't want to tell, but it must be plaguing his mind as well, though, of like, she won't tell us. How bad can it be? What could it possibly be? It's lovely that he was like, it's not going to change anything, though. Yeah, we just got to be gentle with her.
And told each other rhyming jokes till our gullets ached.
Okay. Rhyming jokes. This is Ricken, isn't it? This sounds like Ricken.
He believed that we'd be woodland poppers forever.
Mate, honestly, Huang on that thing, it's haunting. Jesus Christ.
I was looking at him when his eye came out.
What?
Torrent of pus at his hair, which was suddenly moss that tore easily from his bleeding scalp.
Horrifying. And what are they associating all of this horror with? The idea of being paupers, alienating, demonizing the idea of that. I mean, what does this do? In a certain sense, it could just be that there's that association between Dieter and nature, the external. I mean, I talked about it when I think we were talking in that episode last season about the tempers. And I talked about that shouldn't be... It was very, the way that Egan, Lumen talk about them, it's very... Control yourself so that you can control the world and kind of exploit it to the way you want, right? And then I started talking about the planet and how we should be almost symbiotic with it. We have a duty to look after it, which Egan and the Tempers, to my mind, went against. Like I say, went towards more so exploiting it, controlling it. And what is this, right? The conflation, like I say, with Dieter and nature. And now what does this do? This horrifying, associating this horrifying imagery with that, it demonizes almost nature. This thing, the planet that we are supposed to be guardians of. Why would you want to be guardians of it if you associate such horrifying imagery with nature? And like, so this is what I was driving towards. What does that do? It drives you it drives you away, first of all, from Dieter and Net and all that stuff, but towards the Tempers and towards Lumen. Safety, familiarity, the things you can control, because you can't control nature, right? And I suppose that's what they're dialing down on here. Nature can control us, it's powerful, right? And almost putting this macabre twist on it, in that he's turning into nature and it's destroying him. Nature's destroying him. What's the alternative? Control yourself, control nature. So it doesn't, do you know what I mean? And it's insinuating, it feels like to me, more so doubling down on this idea of Lumen, the teachings, the Tempers, and trying to rearrange nature, the world, more fully as something to manipulate, to control, to use, to my mind. And also, sorry, I almost forgot to mention, what was the onset of that? He suggested they be paupers, and then his eye popped out, and these horrible things started happening. It's almost this thing of, no, don't associate. You don't want to be poor. You don't want to, you know what I mean? Demonizing the poor. Which, what does that do? It drives you to work. It drives you to this idea of capitalism, of earning money, and assigning that to your value, right? If that's what we're going for, if we're demonizing the poor, then there's this idea of value in that, or lack thereof, right? Lack thereof in the poor. What are they lacking? Money. Where do we look for our value? We look for it in money and how much money we can earn, which gets us onto this treadmill of capitalism, of being a good, solid worker, because what's the alternative? Well, you're poor. You're a pauper, and that way means bad, and in turn that also influences where I think you want to go, but also how you perceive the poor. And again, you know, this idea of value, sapping it from the poor, which I think you see a lot of the time in our world today, of this condescension from those who are more fortunate, who are financially quite well off. You don't get this all the time, but like there is very much a sense of this derision for the poor, which I feel like this little speech, this little story is going to subtly insert into the subconscious of these guys. Because that's what happens when we start to demonize those that are financially less well off. But I mean, you know, the way that capitalism, the way that society is arranged around capitalism means that there are always going to be those people. That's what that system ensures. The system is against them. It means that they can't, do you know what I mean? Like that's, God, it's just such a horrible cycle. And all this does is make those that do have money apathetic to helping those that don't, which means that nothing ever changes, nothing ever gets done. And those that are not, you know, the millionaires, billionaires, the 1% highest in the high financial of society, are always striving for that, for more, which keeps them on this treadmill. I mean, I've talked about this stuff before. I feel like this is very basic stuff when it comes to capitalism and examining it and how it keeps us all in line. This keeps us all in line when we put so stringently our value in money, and it divides us. It's dividing the fortunate from the poor. And I mean, God, I mean, this is all, I'm simplifying it and generalizing it, but there's many tiers of, you know, fortune, right?
I turned from my gargling brother and walked to the pool of the hollow.
Not my problem, mate.
Where I knew the waterfall would drown out my brother's cries.
Weren't concerned at all, were you?
That's actually really smart.
It makes sense that you said that, though, mate, considering you are under the thumb more so of Lumen than the rest of them with the family stuff. It's not, well, it's, you can call it smart if you want. It's a very weird way to put it, phrase it. Cold, inhuman, other words that you could use. Look at it. I mean, we're seeing in real time the effect. Dylan says smart. And what have we got? One human, and this horrifying effect that is happening to them, this thing that is happening to him, and his brother, who should care the most about him, turning away and drowning out his cries. I don't want to hear it. Dylan going smart. You know what I mean? Not, oh my God, that's horrible. Oh, what a horrible person Kier is.
It was here that I first encountered the temper wolf.
The temper.
Half the height of a natural woman.
Okay. Yeah, okay, make sure everyone gets a look, okay. It's very odd. Ah!
She spoke to me directly from her eyes. This is your doing. Suffered his wantonness.
Oh, God.
Now he's no one's brother.
Oh, my God.
Only chaos's whore.
What? That's so intense and so beautifully delivered from him. Oh, my God. Yeah, and what does that do? Sorry, that line there.
This is your doing.
This is your doing.
You suffered his
wantonness, which what is this teaching them? And what is wantonness? It's being free with your speech. It is being, you know, doing what you want, saying what you want. Just, you know, just throwing it out there because you kind of feel like it. You suffered his wantonness, and what happened? This horrible thing. And now he's no one's brother. You know, you've lost community. You've lost that connection. You've lost family. It's teaching Kier or someone listening to this story to not suffer anyone being free with how they are and their speech and coming in with new ideas, right? That's what wantonness is or can be. It's not just saying this is how you should be. It's saying you should also enforce how you are to everyone else. Dear God.
Only chaos's whore.
That's such a funny line. But horrifying.
The end.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps in the morning we'll have time for the next chapter.
I'm alright, mate, you know.
Kier and the thieving nanny.
Do you know what I'm back in? No, tell me that. Yeah.
Creepy.
What does she thieve? Who's nanny?
Really die that way, Mr. Milcher?
Oh, the thieving nanny. Cobell? Not been funny. Is that where that's from?
Did his brother really die that way, Mr. Milcher?
It's not possible, Irv, mate.
The handbook enriches our work with tales of the founder's life.
Blurring the line between myth and reality. Come on, Hely. Yeah.
Hely.
What? He turned into the forest because he masturbated.
Ah, that was the implication.
Seriously, that's actually the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Thank you. Okay. Nice. Yes. Take it apart.
He jerked off in front of his brother.
Right, I'm not crazy. That's what I thought he said too.
Got punished for it. He just said it.
He did kind of say it.
You know we often laugh at what we don't understand.
Okay, buddy.
The team I thought I knew would have processed more thoughtfully.
Oh my god.
Miss Wong, the marshmallows, please.
Again, the way he delivered that line is beautiful.
Throw them in the fire.
That's not what you're supposed to do, buddy.
Come on.
Now, Miss Wong.
They're not children, Seth. You can't punish them because she laughed at a masturbating brother. Okay, it's objectively kind of a funny thing.
Why?
Why? Yes.
The team players, Dylan. They don't just hand them out.
Alright, Juan. Jesus. Seth, you're an idiot. This is the way to alienate them. You actually kind of had Dylan and Irv there, and you've lost both of them because of the way you reacted to what Hely said. That's dumb from your perspective, if you want to get them on board. Like Seth, Lumen, they're really not that clever, are they? When it comes down to it. Like when they actually have to try and deviate from the handbook, they don't know what they're doing. Because there's no original thought behind it. There is just, we serve, we follow the teachings, and that's it. Anything outside of that, not a clue. Not a clue. And actually when you take them outside of it, in the way that Hely just did there, Seth showed himself to be the child. He didn't know how to control that emotion. He spat out his dummy. You don't get this, you've been naughty children. Puts the marshmallows in the fire. Walks away, good night, you're all bad. And handles it in a way, yeah, like I say, that loses them. Right? It's not clever at all. That was so dumb. I'm not trying to help him, sorry. I'm just trying to point out that I think, you know, these people in these systems and that kind of model their life after tenets that don't make much sense, and you know, they exist, these people exist in these systems, don't question them because they do lack critical thinking, they do lack stepping outside of it for a moment and looking at how it's actually affecting people en masse, on the whole. Like, they're not doing that. They're so deep in it that if they are taken out of it, they don't know where they are, they don't know what they're doing. Life doesn't make sense anymore, and they come across as very silly people. And I'm not trying to say that in a derogatory manner. I think you see this sort of thing all the time. Like, you actually try to, you know, someone who fights for capitalism talks about it, and, you know, against someone who is kind of leveling fair and valid critiques, they can't, you know, I see all that, they can't say anything they don't know what to say. They just kind of repeat or spurt the same, sorry, that was a weird word choice. They just articulate the same talking points that don't really make sense, or isn't really addressing the critique being leveled at them, right? I mean, why is that? Because, you know, at the end of the day, this system doesn't actually benefit us. It doesn't make sense, and it causes more harm than help to humanity as a whole.
It isn't funny.
Oh, God.
It's pretty funny.
Well, it's not.
We are turning them against each other a little here, aren't we?
Stop making boo-boo eyes at her.
Yeah, because he doesn't trust Hely anymore. Dylan's obviously on Lumen's side too. Irving and Dylan have a little special relationship. Hely and Mark do. There's a split forming, isn't there?
The night gardener. Using your pupils to make love to her.
Okay.
Audie's wife rots away somewhere.
Hey, you, Irv.
Okay, good. We're calling him out. Nice.
So it's 3 against 1 now, huh?
Well, you are being a dickhead, mate.
We all know Irving's upset because he can't ever see Britt again.
Okay, we're all attacking now. Let's just take a breath. This almost feels like before Mark got reintegrated, actually, no. I mean, maybe he's just falling back on inside Mark, because that's his environment. Yeah, this isn't good. They need to be a unit. That's super important. And if the point is to sow dissent in the ranks, Lumen are winning. You know, and it's keeping them focused on interpersonal stuff as opposed to bringing anything down.
Carrot.
What?
His penis.
Deer's penis.
Yeah. Jump, jump, motherfucker. Sorry, that's rude. Oh, hello. Is this like your transition into here's my penis? Like what we did?
That was mean of me.
A little bit, but he started it.
He kind of deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Better ways to go about it, really, isn't there?
Sorry if I'm distracting you from
Or the wife thing.
your wife.
It's all a bit messy, isn't it? Quite like it for that, though. This moment is slightly spoiled for me, because I feel like there's a camera somewhere, mate. Sorry, it's really hot. Ah! God, that's horrible. What? That was a beautiful transition, though. I love that. What a representation of the episode as a whole, right? This very beautiful thing. Intimacy, making love, if that's how you want to put it. You know, of the hands. turned into this very unsettling thing. And, you know, I'm talking about the cold and the ice and the snow. There's this bleak, barren landscape. I mean, it's also very beautiful, right? You know, I think. But I think the way it's being played by Lumen is meant to come across uninviting and scary. You know what I mean? It's almost the episode, this thing of turning the good into the bad, to unsettle, you know, something beautiful and tarnishing it. I mean, you get that in, you know, the story, Dita, nature, this thing that is supposed to be beautiful, and yeah, how it becomes this horror show. It's very interesting that Mark and Hely are doing this, and the implication is that he's reintegrated now. Is he? Is it maybe not taken fully out? We did see PT going back and forth a little bit. Yeah, but Irving out on his own, these two together, bathed in orange, warm, you know, warm colour, warm light. Look at this colour on him, cold, white, blue. Almost this thing of, that's what you have when you have love, you know, and this stark contrast between Mark and Hely and Irving on his own, no bird. And the effect it's having on him. It's making him paranoid. You know, we saw with the seal thing, and we had in the tent with Hely, he admitted it himself. It probably came across as paranoid and silly. I feel embarrassed by it. He's not his best self, and I think it's because of the emotional place that he's kind of been put into as a result of the bird thing, and we're seeing actually the effect that love and having that connection, that romance in the workplace, how it can make you perhaps, well, obviously, but happier in that environment, right? Be interesting to see actually as we go through this season how that affects them. And we have this presence of Hely saying, I'm sorry, like I'm not distracting you from finding your wife, am I? And, you know, obviously Mark saying no, but maybe there is something in there. Maybe they're going to be less focused and more distracted because of this romance going on, whereas maybe Irv is going to be, I don't know, we'll see, more erratic, more paranoid. We got a comment earlier in the episode about him talking about, was it Milchek and insulting him, right? I don't know. I just, you know, we'll see how that develops, and I'm curious as to this contrast. Irving, the lack of romance, these two, the inclusion of it in the show between them, and how it's going to shape the stories going forward.
Like who I was on the outside.
Okay.
I was ashamed. Who are you? I don't care who you are out there.
Yeah, nice.
I care who you are with me.
That's very sweet. Oh.
You okay?
Ah, okay. Reintegration. Gotcha. I was like, is it turning him back? That'd be wild. Okay. Confirmation. We're not doing any timey-wimey stuff. He has been reintegrated. It's just not fully clicked in yet, I guess. But, you know, keeping us on the hook, what, for 39 minutes, dude? Until we get any hint of the cliffhanger from last episode. Bit rude. But again, the show using that suspense on the audience, teasing as much of it out as they can. I mean, we still haven't really got answers. Oh! Dream or invasion of privacy? In the sense that someone undressed him, do you know what I mean? A dream, it seems like. Okay. If he's dreaming, it's interesting. Dreaming of work. Why? Comfort, right? That's what that is. Familiarity. I was talking about it earlier in the episode. Ah, but yeah, just furiously masturbating. There'd be premise for it in the anyway. Sorry. Okay, that's not fun. Nah, I'm alright, mate. Yeah, whoa. Ah, come on, man. I'm fine. Yeah, dream. Okay.
Hely?
Yeah, where'd she go?
Mr. Milchek!
Another punishment? No? Okay. Going to the waterfall, huh? Drowning out. Okay.
What are you doing down here?
She's having a very peaceful morning, I think, mate.
I slept outside.
Yeah. How's your back?
I almost froze to death. What you said to me last night?
That's not on her.
It was cruel.
Yeah, sure, but you chose to sleep outside, mate.
Hely was never cruel.
Oh.
So if you're not her,
Oh, you think?
then who are you? Who would have the power to send their Audi to the 7th floor?
Was I right?
I'm sorry.
Ah!
Whoa.
Mr. Milkshake!
Or has he just fooled himself into thinking because of the whole her lying?
Mr. Milkshake!
Oh, you want answers, Irving, eh?
She's an Audi!
Could you imagine if he's right, though? And she's just acted perfectly? Maybe.
She's not Hely! She's an Egan!
Oh, wow.
Turn her back!
Kind of cock on, though. Oh, God. Oh, man.
Remove the Glasgow block now.
The Glasgow block. What? Oof. Irving's clocked it, though. She's an Egan. Wait a minute. He was right. I was right. Was I right? So this is Hely now. Dude. Are you kidding? What's the Glasgow block? So it was Helena. Or maybe part of her? I was right. I was so right. And what did they do? They had sex. Was it through... Was I spot on? Was I spot on, mate? What did I say? She saw that kiss. Perhaps she's yearning for it, never had it, and took it from Hely. The Glasgow... Sorry, let's just play the episode. Because I'm like... She was convincingly Hely, I feel like. Obviously not fully. Irving clocked it. But enough that I feel like it gets by her. Even by me, who predicted it, man. I predicted this. And I still thought she was Hely. So what's the Glasgow block then? But he's right, yeah. Who would have that power in Egan?
Stand!
Good logic.
You have threatened collegial murder in the pond of Rose Hollow.
Okay.
I should have listened!
Yeah.
Just remember, hang in there.
Oh, bless you, mate.
Turn around!
Irving, mate, you don't have to do anything he says. Yeah. Kiss. Nut him. Go on. Ah.
Walk into the forest.
Nice. That smugness. I love that. Oh, he's got your measure. Yeah. That's so messed up if that was Helena. I mean, this is essentially his death, right? For now, at least.
Personal items.
He's content. He got a win, you know? He called it, and then he faced Seth there, and he was the stronger one, the victor, I think. He faced Lumen, he went up against him, and he won there.
Will be purged and destroyed.
Overreaction.
Never even existed.
Wow. We're seeing Irving's death. I don't think it's the last we see of him. But...
Now.
Damn, really? Really? So sorry, I was cock on. I called it, what, 2 episodes ago? That's crazy. That's crazy. We can give me that one, right? We can, I'm gonna give myself one of those, mate. I am. I absolutely am. Doesn't matter that I didn't necessarily see it coming this episode. Okay. They played it quite well. They did. But I did call it and to be fair, I did come up with some motivations for her. I wonder if I'm right with those or maybe I'm a little bit off. That seems the most likely to me. Like 2 things, right? Either Helena, Egan, is lacking love in her own life, has never experienced that and wants to. Or is jealous of her severed self for having something first, right? Probably both, maybe both. But she was very convincing. Yeah, the Glasgow thing. What does that mean? Does that mean that Helena's in control, but she has access maybe to Hely's memories so that she can do it convincingly? Maybe so. We'll see, I suppose, but what a cool episode. I think there's a lot going on. I'll let all that commentary kind of stand by itself, open to interpretation, I think, at the end of the day. I'm so happy. I am, cool, great episode. And yeah, I think even, look, you know, I predicted it, and it still took me by surprise. And I think, you know, look, if I hadn't predicted it, it maybe would have hit a bit harder. There was still a lot of joy, because I did predict it, and I got an ego, mate, okay? I'm human. What do you want? But, like, sorry, that's why I mentioned it, because I predicted it, and it was still a good moment. Do you know what I mean? I think it was played perfectly. And they did the work to try to still fool you, even if you'd had that theory. Because it makes you question. It makes you question whether she actually is or isn't. Even at the end there, until he actually switches her back and she's like, what's going on? You know? Really cool, really good episode. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling on. And if I keep going, I will just keep patting myself on the back, so I'll end the video there. Thank you so much for watching. If this was your first video of mine and you're not subscribed, please do consider doing that down below. Tick the notification button as well. Just to let people know, I will be moving all my short form content over to TikTok. So if you were someone who enjoyed that stuff, want to see more of that stuff, go follow my TikTok. I won't really be posting it over here anymore, not as much, or, you know, maybe once a week, something like that. We'll see. But God, as always, thank you to my patrons, my YouTube members. Thank you so much, genuinely, for your support. There are some links down in the description below for early access to all my videos. Got my gaming channel down there too. But hey, that was Severance. Next week, we'll be going on to episode 5. So yeah, be sure to catch that. But for now, it's goodbye, but I'll see you soon.